Could we be? I mean, really? Any closer? Good, thank you. Can we be
and
this
the
far
grey,
apart?
did you call each other up and say let's
No,
do the
but
grey?
we have a very similar sense of...
Yeah?
Is this all right? Yeah, that's fine. You gonna be all right?
Hi.
I like you.
I knew
Extra, extra. Dun-dun-dun-dun. This is one where Mario Lopez throws the thing out and he's like, let's go.
What's he throw? What's he throw?
He's got a thing. He's like, let's do it.
Is that like when IL throws the image of Ambassador Spock?
I gotta say something. I went up to Mario Lopez at the Golden Globes and I told him, because he was on Saved by the Bell, clearly. He was also on a show before that called Good Morning, Miss Bliss, which was the forerunner to Saved by the Bell.
You know a lot about him.
Well, let me tell you something. Because my father played Zach, thank you, Zach Morris's father in the show. Anyway, he didn't look all... I thought it was a great story. Clearly, it's not.
It didn't work then, and it doesn't work now. And he thought it was just Mario, but really it's the story.
I thought he'd be more interested.
No one's impressed.
So are you saying you would prefer Mario to be sitting here interviewing you than me?
I am so engaged, so enthralled by your effervescence.
I think it's the nail polish.
No, it's your whole being.
I like the way you do this.
Yes, it's very Prince of me.
I feel like we
Princess
should
Diaries
start.
Oh, yes,
Shall we start?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's start.
See, she's blushing too.
You're going to be all flustered.
Good. Okay.
So congratulations to both of you. I feel like I should start by saying congratulations. Saw it last night. Amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Amazing. Nervous? Are you nervous about, you're going to become superstars? You ready for this?
I feel like there is no way to really sort of gauge or prepare for the experience other than just be fully invested in it and take it as it comes, because it's been such an evolution. We've been at this really for, it was 2 years ago that we auditioned for the roles and a year and a half ago that we started shooting it. So it's just been such a evolution. So I know that I'm like, if this was happening to me 10 years ago, I would have self-destructed by now,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
absolutely.
So I think there's, in terms of are you ready, I think there are no mistakes as to when things happen and how things happen and why things happen. And I know from my own personal experience that I'm certainly much more ready now than I would have ever been at another point in my life. So that's a good thing, I suppose.
But it's almost this like kind of purgatorial place, because the movie has not come out, but there's been, thank God, some wonderful attention drawn to it, and people seem to have seem to like it. But it still has not come out. So I think we're all kind of in this holding pattern, waiting for the thing to drop. And I think what we have going for us is that we actually like one another and we enjoy promoting the movie, and we actually really like the movie that we're involved with, which, I think sometimes is not the case. So.
And what about just knowing that probably you're not going to be able to go in the supermarket without getting hassled? The paparazzi are going to be following you constantly?
No, they're not. No.
I think not all that interesting people.
Really not.
I think it's probably going to happen.
Seriously not going to happen. No. Promise you.
Promise.
Really, nobody cares what I do in my life, thank God. But I was thinking the other day as I was walking around with my dog, I was like, this would be so boring to take pictures of. Like, I don't do anything. I just hang out. I really do.
You don't do anything wild and crazy ever?
Zach?
Well, that's not true, I guess. I don't know. We got pretty wild and crazy at different points along the way when we were traveling the world together. We had a great time.
We had a lot of fun.
I love my friends, and I love that the people that I made this movie with are my friends now. They're really, truly, like, I cannot think of one person that I would not want to travel with or hang out with or make more movies with, or, well, John Cho. But only John Cho. Other than John Cho.
Man, poor Cho.
Love John Cho. One of my favorite people. John Chow.
Chris, it's obvious you've all become such good friends. I mean, Carl was saying to me it was hard to even get through the takes about bursting into love.
Well, I think he's speaking of one particular incident in which my pointy-eared, bull-haircutted fellow to my right, we had some incredibly long days, and I think none of us were really prepared for that. And it was this one particularly intense scene where
also,
Zach...
my mother was here, which makes Earth the only home I have.
Again, it's not going to be funny when I tell the story now, but okay, well, I'll try. Zach comes back onto the deck of the ship. He's been outed because he was emotionally compromised, and he comes back and he has got to look at us and say in a very kind of intense, gravelly tone,
also, my mother was human, which makes Earth the only home I have left.
Which, at 3 a.m, and the man is wearing a bowl haircut, he's got pointy ears.
But I also, in rehearsal, was specifically making a joke of the line.
Yeah,
and
he made it increasingly difficult for us to take ourselves seriously. Only point in time, as well, where JJ actually had to leave set to give us some breathing room and come back. It was the only time that it was,
Did anything other than be totally
Yeah.
like cool.
Yeah, he was close to blowing up.
Yeah, and for him
In JJ's way.
in JJ terms, which
Which is
means
not all
like
that frightening. Because he's a cute guy.
So what about recreating? Like, were you nervous at all about taking on William's role?
I mean, yes, in one word. I think originally I was definitely wary of taking on the role, but once I met JJ and really got a sense of what his vision was for this, and that this wasn't, this was not meant to be an impersonation of these characters, but rather our own kind of original incarnations of these great iconic characters, I felt a lot, way more comfortable than I would have if he had asked us to kind of, mimic.
And did you watch Star Trek growing up? Are you a huge fan?
I was not. I mean, both of us kind of were Star Wars kids, and I think Zach speaks to this pretty eloquently. But there was something about. There you go, Zach. There was, the world of Star Trek. It talks about themes and social issues and big ideas. There was something about Star Wars that was a bit more kind of visceral, and it looked cool. And I think it was easily. For a kid, it was easy to engage with that. But I think going back and watching Star Trek, I now have a greater appreciation for these big ideas that Mr. Roddenberry was kind of exploring back in the day.
Everybody's saying that this is a very sexy Star Trek. There's a lot of good-looking guys in this movie, isn't there?
I'm blushing. Repeat it.
Am I making you
sweating?
blush?
who are you talking about?
I
Are you
couldn't
prepared?
possibly
My
say.
inner
Are you
monologue.
prepared to name names?
No, don't put me on the spot.
Oh.
You two!
Oh,
And
What?
Eric. Eric's
and
pretty
Eric.
hot.
Us two and Eric. We won't tell
can't
Carl or
compete with
John or
Eric.
Anton
Carl's
or Bruce.
cute, actually.
Oh, and Carl now.
Anton?
I have a little thing for Anton. I
Wow.
have to say.
He's
Wow.
He's underage too.
All right. No, he's not.
He's not.
No.